Okay, hello everyone. Good morning. Thank you so much for today and happiness day for you. I hope you all the great situation all the time and anywhere you at time. Okay, today I wanted to present I wanted to start my presentation. Before I wanted to start my presentation, I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Dharmakala and I'm from the Simbering class. Today is I want today I'm I want to talk about is a sings language. Interpreting my subtitle is material today. Okay, before I wanted to before before we are check about is sing language interpreting. I wanted to give you definition of sing language interpreting. Sing language interpreting. Sing language interpreting is the art of sing language to convey the information contained in the programmer audio, like a speech and other important tone, to viewers who are deaf and far from the sing language is their first language. And sing language as hand and shape, finger shape like this, finger shape movement and body language and expression you to convey meaning. Since language differ from the country to country. For example, Irish deaf people in USA and Indian people, just like example in Indonesian, is programmer television is different sing language needed to have their own uniques because they are have a grammar, semantic, and vocabulary for learn sing language interpreting. Okay, this is the next slide. And why? And two reason why we are learn sing language interpreting. Yeah, this reason, the first reason is sing language is the first language of many members of the deaf community who might be far less fluent in reading the written language, especially for those a sing language which are substantially different from a spoken language in grammar, semantic, and vocabulary. And number two is why the reason to sing language, learn to sing language interpreting is two reason is language is not just about a communicating speech, but our have the body language also about emotion, concept formation, identify and belonging. And then to a person who learns sing language as child and as it is in as it their family from of interaction with their peers. Only sing language can communicate that vitally important as speech. And then the next slide is example profession. An example profession in the sing language. Why it's really important for sing language profession in television programmer. This is the first step. First, the example is a native language asked by the programmer television, just like a prepensor, contributor, and corrector. They are a gift to translator what the information, just like with our body language. With our body language, just like why, I don't know, in why, what are you talking about? Just like that. As interpreting of this. And number two, the programmer in television is as interpreting as in interpreting of speech and other sound contained in a programmer. And number three, for the reason why the sing language is very important in television programmer, as a sing language interpreting is usually created spread from the programmer and must be added into the programmer video before delivery. And expectation is where a singer is present during the recording, and such as when a sing language interpreter travel with news report to this kind of news story. And then why we are needed to learn sing language interpreting in a team, for the team can resonate with interpreting is active. This reason why we are need to sing language interpreting, allowing for the interpreter who was just in the active role to work the supporting role, thus enabling a semi-recovery period of period for each interpreter until they rotate back into the more active role. Okay, the next slide is the next slide is sing language and nature human. Sing language and nature human. Sing language nature human is to have the 3 point. First point is iconity. Iconity is resemble between a symbol, just like a symbol, like a symbol, and it is 10 different. It is really important for our when you learn to sing language interpreting. This is a very really important for other one when they learn sing language interpreting. It is the poem and it is a spoken language and sing language alike. A common that not universal viewers, it is spoken language. Iconity is a relative prehalar poem. The few example include a tamale word the same to the song, like emitive, what they present, such as ding, or just like a cat meow meow meow, just like cat meow meow. And then sound symbols, and the sound symbols just like without the sound but with the symbols, and direct representation link between and the sound quality and concept. And number 2 point, the role of iconity in ESL. Klima and Blugi or KNB acknowledge the principle of iconity in ESL, but seek to test relevant to the use of the language. One way iconity of the sing could be relevant to sing language, and as will be the meaning of the sing was self-evident or transparent. Transparation key and B term. To test the transparency of KNB present of 19 sing of ESL to 10 non-singing hearing subject and ask to them of just the correct meaning. Only nine were just corrected by a loss of subject and many to correct. Just we are far from a correct translation. And then number 3 point is extension of iconity. As about iconity is understood is applying in the case of a resemble of a linguistic form to object and action. In the both spoken sings language, it has been observed, however, and that there are poems that are similar to iconity, but in the vowels, they use the as of linguistic from demonstrate abstract of conceptual identities and even. And then the next slide is sing language. Sing language, example of us, and also movement made by the sing language expression. Okay, I want to practice about the sing language interpreting is of the movement made by like a translator translator in television, just like who, 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 what, who, what, when, just like this, when, where, just one finger, where, why, and which, just like this, which, and whoa, how, just like this, you have, can you get it? Yeah, no, just not like this, but just like this, who. Okay, I want to once again, and who, just like this, you have who, what, just like what, when, you turn your finger, when, just one finger, where, why, just you give information, why, which, just like it, which, and how. Okay, you are got it to my presentation. I think enough my presentation. This is example for my presentation for today. Example how you get it to sync language interpreting in just like a presenter and on television or to other one. Okay, I think enough my presentation for today. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you enjoy and just watch, and when you're watching my video, please give me correct my video after you're watching my video. Thank you so much for your time and have a nice day.